And we are now recording. It is September 14th, 2016. We are on our virtual Zoom, and we are zooming in with Shelly Robbins and Allison Paisley of Avalara. We will be talking to them directly at their meetup. We will be virtual.
Excellent. This is so exciting that we get to get everybody here. Hi.
Hi, Allison.
Hi. I want to give a big shout out to the Institute and thank them for helping organize this all. I'm a bookkeeper that's working in the greater Seattle area. I've been in business for 20 years, and I'm so still having technical difficulties. Sorry. But one of the things that's really important to me is meetups like this and having an opportunity to talk with other people who are facing the same kind of challenges. I know our industry is really changing a lot right now. There's a lot of what we talk about, but even before then, just being able to connect and make a friend who I can trust to help me with my business so that I can go on vacation or get sick if I do, or whatever I need to be a solopreneur, be somebody who's working primarily for myself with subs and contractors, but have to make a lot of big decisions about my business and the market overall, and to have other people that I can talk to about that and trust, where we're all just like helping each other. What do you need? What can we do to find the kind of clients that you want? Because we find out as we all get together that the clients that I like aren't necessarily the same clients that you like, and by sharing we're really able to hone in on what it is we really want to do with our businesses.
Absolutely, absolutely. And what businesses do we want to support? We can decide what niche we want to be in, as well as what clients we want. So, while we're waiting, let's start with Sarah. Sarah, you are now in the upper right-hand corner. Tell us a little bit about who you are and where you're at.
Hi, I'm Sarah Wall. I am in southeastern Ohio. I am a virtual bookkeeper. I work with Jan and her bookkeeping firm, and I also work with her in ICB USA.
Thank you. Sarah Laidlaw, can you unmute? Tell us about you.
Hi, I have a outsourced bookkeeping and accounting firm in Savannah, Georgia. Employees are definitely working remotely today because we're in the middle of a tropical storm, Julia. So if you see a tree fall down behind me, let me know. I'm also, we're mainly nonprofit accountants. And I also am a developer, a third-party desktop developer, and I wrote the TBX Trial Balance Exporter program.
Thank you. Jan, would you like to tell us about you?
Yep, I have my own virtual online bookkeeping service that focuses on the legal industry. We have been online and paperless for at least 6-7 years now, so quite a while. We love apps, work primarily with all cloud accounting, and I am also the CEO for the Institute of Certified Bookkeepers. So we are extremely excited to get a true global. We've got Paula here, we've got a few people from Canada, and I'm just so excited to see everyone. So thanks for joining.
Paula, would you like to tell us about you again? Paula, you're muted. Can you unmute? Let me see if I can help her out here.
Sorry, I am the UK representative, obviously completely inept with technological advances in the US. So I run a practice in Kent, which is very close to London, called Empower Accounting. I'm very involved with ICB UK. I'm working with them. I'm speaking at the summit. I have just come back from speaking at an ICB meeting in Cardiff, and it is absolutely wonderful to be in this forum with you from the UK. Lovely to speak to you all. I've visited the US, I've visited Canada, so I'm delighted to be able to speak to you here this afternoon.
Thank you, Paula. Eileen, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, Eileen Sass. I'm from the Cleveland, Ohio area, running a virtual office. I have one part-time employee and run pretty much everything on QBO with Bill.com and T-Sheets, and absolutely love what I do. Couldn't do it without the technology that's out there today.
Thank you, Eileen. Kathy, you're with us. You're having a live meetup now also?
We are. We're having a live meetup right now. You guys want to go lower because they can't see you. See, here we go. And to tell you the truth, it helps to have staff because it helps fill up the meetup, because we have Andy in the far back with the longer hair, and she's one of my team members. Carrie is also one of my team members. Elaine Bloomberg has a practice in Redondo Beach, and we're located in Manhattan Beach, California. We primarily work with professional service firms, and ranging from startups to about 20 million in revenue, but we do also have some larger clients that sell to Home Depot, but our specialty is professional service firms.
Thank you, Kathy. Welcome. Glad you could join us.
I'm glad your host.
Thank you. Mariette, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself? You're muted.
Yes, hi, I'm Mariette Martinez. I have an accounting and tax practice in Ontario, California. That's not as cool as Manhattan Beach, but it's still Southern California. I'm actually a Southern California girl. I was born in the San Fernando Valley, so I'm literally a Valley girl. So if you are from the Valley, you know what that means. Anyhow, just glad to be here. I focus on the self-employed niche. I'm teaching at QuickBooks Connect, so I hope to see you there. And just amazing opportunity to be part of this virtual bookkeeping. Raise your cup of coffee. And I just want to show off my QBSC. This is a QuickBooks Self-Employed cup of coffee. And I'm just proud to show it off because I love QuickBooks Self-Employed.
Hey, thank you, Mariette. Misha, would you like to tell us about you?
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
I have a company in near Boston, Massachusetts, actually a town called Stoughton, which is about 30 minutes south. We have the only IKEA in the state in my town, which is a couple minutes away from my house. I focus on small business consulting, tax prep, bookkeeping. And I kind of have a little bit of everybody that comes to me because it's not just the way I work. It's not just what you do, but how you do. So I try to help as many small business people and using that, that motto to kind of service everybody. I have a master's degree in leadership and organizational change, and that allows me to kind of focus on the overall business of the overall practice that the person is doing. So I kind of have a little bit of everything. What else? That's about it, I think.
Okay, thank you, Misha. We have some people that do not have pictures. We'll start with Michael. I'm not sure if you have a microphone that's working.
He does not, actually. He just typed a message.
Okay, so here's Michael's intro. I am Michael Evoy. I hope that I'm saying your name right. I have an accounting, bookkeeping, and tax practice in Canada with officers in, I'm sorry, I can't read this, Milton and New Brunswick and St. John's, Newfoundland, and Labrador. I serve clients with QBO and QB Desktop, and also limited client base using Sage. So that's Michael. Thank you, Michael. Christy, are you with us? Can you unmute and tell us a little bit about yourself?
I can unmute. I had to pack my video camera for later, so I don't have my video. I am Christy Monahan. I own Dynamic Bookkeeping. I've been in business for about 3 years and full-time for a little over a year. and I specialize in nonprofits, professional services, and anyone with a point of sale that's having trouble making it talk to QBO. I'm completely virtual, and I try to leverage technology at every turn.
Thank you, Christy. Kathy, can you unmute? Kathy Iconis, can you unmute and tell us a little about yourself?
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm Kathy Iconis. I'm CEO of Iconis Group. We're an outsourced bookkeeping firm in Atlanta. And I'm also behind QBO Chat, which is a weekly tweet chat for QuickBooks Online users, every Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific.
Okay, thank you. Allison, are you with us? Can you speak?
Yep, I'm here. Thank you for having us this morning. I appreciate it. I'm here with Brandon Hauk from Avalara as well. And actually, Brandon is on point to just give a quick hello about Avalara.
Great. Hi, everyone. Welcome to this coffee. You know, I've raised my cup of coffee here. We've got 4 other folks in the room today besides Shelly Robbins. And we're just so excited to be a part of this. Avalara, if you're not familiar, we are a software company that does sales tax compliance automation. Here we are. There's Allison and I from sunny Seattle, Washington, where it never rains.
That's right.
And we're just really excited. We have some really interesting news also related to ICB. Today we're going to be announcing a partnership with ICB. For all ICB members, we're going to have some incentives for referrals as well as free trial for our latest software that Avalara has developed, which is actually a sales tax return software for accountants who want to file returns on behalf of their clients. And we'll be doing a demo tomorrow. If you're interested in that, I'm sure we'll be getting you some information. So thanks again.
Yeah.
Thank you.
If I can just say thank you to Jan Hago as well. We've worked with her and ICB USA to get our partnership going that we announced across the wire at 6 a.m. this morning.
It's a pretty exciting new product that Avalara has out, and they're going to do a webinar on it tomorrow so we can jump in and check it out, or just sign up and then check out the recording later. So we'll go ahead and post a link to that up in the chat in just a sec.
Yeah. At 11 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Can I just say it's exciting to have Avalara here because for the ICB I did a product review of the Avalara product for European tax. I don't know if you guys are aware, but European VAT is a complete nightmare, and the ICB asked me to do a review of the product, and it's amazing because I also talk about VAT for the ICB, and VAT in Europe is so complex, so it's really good to have Avalara. Nice to see you guys.
Thanks, Paula.
For more people in the room, Tiffany.
Keep doing this, okay?
Hello.
Hi, my name is Tiffany, and I work for a full-service accounting firm here in downtown Seattle. And this is my first time at one of these, so thank you.
Thanks, Tiffany.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kevin, and I'm with, my last name is Topping, Kevin Topping. I'm with Top Tax Services. See if you can figure out where that came from. And I started on the tax preparation side and have expanded into the bookkeeping side. So happy to be here, and first time in this meetup.
Awesome.
Welcome. We're good to go.
That's us.
Were we going to have a little demo now of the Avalara? Or what was next on tap, Shelly?
We were, but I think we've maybe had some technical difficulties.
Well,
So while we're working on those, we could move on to the 4 questions that we're going to talk about.
I honestly don't know. Can we, real quickly, can people...
You'd have to share your screen for them to see the video.
Okay, I can share my screen quickly.
Allison's working on sharing the screen.
Okay.
Allison, you have to share your video probably too, right? Can you see Allison's?
Okay, it's probably going to have a technical issue, so let's not.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So I mean, it really
Go to the webinar.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
We're all really excited to hear about the product. It's going to save us a lot of time and keep us out of trouble, but we might have to jump onto that webinar tomorrow.
Okay, awesome. Well, Allison, I am seeing her as what I call a gray head, but she should have the ability to share her screen. If she is looking at her screen, in the lower icon there is what looks like a brief.
Can you see me now?
Yep.
I'm looking. Yes, we can. Yes.
Hello there.
Hi there. Hi there.
We thought we had this all worked out before we started this morning at 10 o'clock, and that indeed was not the case. So our apologies about the technology.
That's okay. We're flexible. We can live with it.
All right. Like, real quick, the concern about showing it's a 2-minute video, but I don't believe that you're going to be able to see my screen. You're just seeing me right now.
Well, so down at the bottom of your screen, there is what looks like it should be green, and it says share screen. Then you'll have the ability to share your desktop. And once you go on that, there's also a little checkbox down there that you want to click share sound. That should give us the sound for that video.
And then you pick your screen. This is the one you want.
Perfect. Perfect. Now, do you see the checkbox that says share your audio?
Right now,
the video is playing, but that's what you're getting.
Okay, the video is playing, but it's not rendering for you to see on the screen.
Okay. Well,
Have you shared your screen? Because I haven't seen it.
yeah, she is sharing, and you just see a note there.
Oh.
Yeah, and I know, and I can't help you out. I know when you click the share screen, there is a little button that says share video or share audio, and that allows you to play the video and share it with everyone. But it must not be working properly.
I think the video's not running.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was playing behind that musical note that you saw, but it wouldn't render.
It's really easy to show the demo tomorrow. We'll walk through the product in real time, and it's really easy to demonstrate the product in that format. So we'll just plan to do that, and we'll send you a link to the sign up page so that if you're interested.
Absolutely, that'll work.
You can just jump onto that. It's not a long demo. It only takes about 20 minutes to see the product, and then we just have open Q&A. So we look forward to seeing you there.
Awesome. That is totally awesome. So while we're here, let's talk about what tax issues we have. Now, it's going to be different for the U.S., Canada, and United Kingdom. Should be interesting. So here in the U.S., we have taxes in every state. In every state, the taxes are different. The items that are taxed are different. So in order to be able to handle all this, Avalara has created their tax program to help us out that integrates with QuickBooks Online. Do you want to talk a little bit more about that, Allison?
Brandon, would you like to talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah,
I'm actually
absolutely.
I'm trying to put something in the chat screen for you.
Okay.
Sure. So, and that's a great setup, Gina, because you're absolutely right. It becomes challenging for businesses when they're wanting to grow to also stay in tune with the tax rules that each state might impose, and they might always impose them differently. So Avalara software works directly with QuickBooks Online. When you're creating an invoice out of QuickBooks Online, or your clients are creating an invoice out of QuickBooks Online, if Avalara has been installed in QuickBooks Online, then all the right taxes, all the sales taxes that need to be collected from the customer in that sale are done automatically, and then Avalara can file those returns as well. So it's a great way to keep in mind for your clients that are ambitious about growing their business, which all clients are, of course, and for those who actually have sales tax that they need to collect from those customers, keep in mind that Avalara has a really cool solution for QuickBooks Online. Yeah.
Does it make the payments as well as do the filing integrate? And I'm assuming it integrates as an app with QuickBooks Online.
Absolutely right. It's in the App Store, and that's how you'd initiate the purchase or the installation of Avalara within QuickBooks Online. And you're absolutely right. So we'll, within the QuickBooks Online app, if you install Avalara, it installs directly into QuickBooks Online. You'll tell us where you need to collect tax and what you sell, and then we'll collect the right amount of tax every time an invoice is created. And when that's registered in the ledger as a completed sale, Avalara records the liability that's been collected at the jurisdictional level and prepares that for you on return, so that at the end of the month or the quarter or the year, whenever you need to file, you go to Avalara's console and you'll approve the liability, and Avalara will file it and remit the funds to the state or local authority.
Wow, file and remit. And it sounds like we're going to work on a cash basis.
I believe that you have the option to determine your client is actual accrual, and that's part of the setup process. There was a time when Avalara was not working on a cash basis, but I think that we've got that sorted for QuickBooks Online. So there's a lot of details in the App Store for that. But again, if you have some questions and want to see that, tomorrow is a great opportunity to get those questions answered when I can walk you through some of those features. Yep.
Absolutely. Great.
Great question.
So my question is, where is Avalara available? We have people here from Canada. We have somebody here from the UK. She's actually turned off our video. So are you working in other countries as well as the United States?
Yeah, we are, and that's part of the reason we're really excited about ICB, because...
Sorry, I am here. I just had a little local matter I had to... Avalara is really interesting to me because I was privileged to be asked to write an ICB software report for Avalara system. And with us being based in the UK and trading in the VAT and tax regulations are absolutely complex. So I have had contact with Avalara. I know they've come out of America, and I think the sort of service they offer is, I haven't seen it before, it's absolutely amazing.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Wow.
And our philosophy is to make it as easy as possible to navigate local tax laws, whether that's a state or a country. And for that reason, we're offered in over 130 UN charter countries. So we do calculate that. We do file that return. HST and GST, as you have up in Canada, we can calculate the taxes due, and we can file those on your behalf to the provinces, as well as we can in the United States to any state or local jurisdiction.
I think this is a good point to talk about how important bookkeepers are, because when it comes to taxes, a lot of times people think it's just kind of hit a button, like a tax preparer, like maybe with Avalara. Somebody who isn't a bookkeeper might come in and go, oh yeah, all the sales are ready and the button's right there, so I just hit the button and it's going to file the taxes, which is true. That's how it all works. But if anybody made any mistakes during that period, like for instance, for applying a payment to the wrong invoice, for example, then the information that Avalara files isn't going to be accurate. And that's where the bookkeeper comes in. That's where we're like nitpicking through everything before the taxes are actually filed.
That's
Absolutely.
a good point, Shelly. So bookkeepers will never go away, no matter how much people want to say, oh, the data entry is automated. What do we need bookkeepers for? Here's a good example.
We have a particular difficult problem in the UK because our HMRC is trying to push for digital appliance. And what we feel is that the role of the bookkeeper is going to get more important, because the small business, the sole trader, I don't know what you call them, will need to possibly submit their books to the revenue, the IRS in your world, more often. And having a good bookkeeper is going to become more and more vital. We need to tell our clients that our role is actually significant to their business.
Absolutely, absolutely. Are any of our Canadian people still with us? No, they've all gone away. Okay. So what countries are you working with as far as taxes are concerned, Avalara?
Well, we work with all countries. Where
it's over 190 countries.
It's 190 now? Yeah. So almost every UN chartered country, if not all of them, we can provide some assistance in calculating the taxes and filing the returns on time to those countries. Somebody mentioned earlier that the bookkeeper is in the trenches with the client's data day in, day out. And I think that's such a great point to know. And that's where Avalara has such a value with working with all of you, because as Shelly so correctly pointed out, our software is really smart at taking what's been designed for it to do and then making it do its job. And I think that's the truth with all this accounting technology out there. It's easy for the accounting software to do what it's instructed to do, but if you're not sure of what the real problem is, if you're not familiar with what's really happening with the data or the books or the client, if you don't have that relationship, the software is not going to do a great job. So
garbage in, garbage out.
Exactly, yeah. So that's why we're so excited to be working with you all, and especially with this new partnership with ICB. It's going to be profoundly interesting for both of us.
Nice, nice. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions?
I just want to add, Gina, you pointed out the influence that we have on businesses. You mentioned that right as we dialed in. And I think that's something to keep thinking about when one of us decides to take on a business. I know we increase their profitability. We increase their success substantially. And all of us have stories of taking a business that's really in trouble and getting the books all straightened out so that the owner can make the decisions they need to make, and then the business does great. And so we have an incredible amount of influence in the world overall. When we decide to take on a business, we can really make a difference.
Absolutely, absolutely. Does anyone want to add to that?
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Gary. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. How are you doing there?
Good, good. Would you like to give us a little intro of yourself?
Yeah, hi. I'm Gary Carter. I'm the founder and global president of ICB. It's all down to myself and my wife, June. We started the Institute 20 years ago this year. And we're very pleased that this year the Global Bookkeeping Week is bigger and better than ever. A lot of it down to Jan. Jan is quite a live wire. Bit difficult to keep up with at times, but really good. So I'm just about to start a meeting of our bookkeepers here in the UK. They haven't all arrived yet. They're a bit slow in the UK. But yeah, it's good to see you having good conversation. Avalara, we like your product, and a new partner for us, which is really good. New partner in the UK, that is. And we're looking forward to working with you very closely, seeing you at our summit at the beginning of October. So I'm really pleased to see ICB going down well in America.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we are proud to be part of it. Thank you.
Thanks, Gary.
Well, I mean, bookkeepers right across the world, you all do the same sort of job. You all have the same challenges, but I think these are really exciting times at the moment. And, you know, the UK, Australia, we're doing very big things at the moment in the Philippines, throughout Asia. And, yeah, you know, bookkeepers have been hidden away for far too long. We're here to redress that balance. That's why we started this organization. And we just want to get the bookkeepers the recognition they deserve, their place in society, their place in the profession. And yeah, it's great to have America as part of this as well as the rest of the world. So congratulations to you all for choosing to be the best that you can be. You're not just a bookkeeper, you're an ICB bookkeeper. How about that?
Thank you very much. Thank you. And actually, I think these groups are needed, and we need to come together globally. Like you said, Garrett, we are all in this together. We're doing the same thing. We have been the ones that have been down in the trenches, doing the work, putting our head down, keeping our clients straight. But in these changing times, there's so much out there. There are so many apps out there available. How do we negotiate? How do we get through all of this maze of new information coming in? I think that by combining our experiences and working together, we will be a lot more powerful than just working on our own.
Yeah, I think all of the software companies have become global. It is becoming a much smaller world. I know they've been saying that for years, but it's really true nowadays because of the cloud. And yeah, together we are a much bigger force, if I could call us that. And I think that's what we are. And we can really make a difference. And by being too small, we could be picked off in each individual country or each individual state or whatever it is. But arm in arm as a community, then we have a voice. And that's the important thing, really.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Are you getting the picture? Can you see me from there?
Yes, we can.
I'm seeing. Right, so
Nice to see you.
you can see some of our members here. They're just turning up at the moment, but these are just wave at our friends in America, please, everybody.
Hey, everybody! Nice to meet you.
Yeah. Anyway, so hi, Jan. How you doing? Quick,
hey, well, Gary.
Jan there. So. How's your day going on this wonderful Race Cup day?
We're doing great. I love the introduction of Avalara today. Shelly has got a meetup group there at Seattle. Kathy has a meetup group that's joined us from Manhattan Beach. We've got Paula from the UK joining us.
Yeah, I saw Paula.
Hi, Gary.
Hi, Paula.
Great night down in Cardiff. Fantastic night down in Cardiff. Brilliant night.
I saw that. Yeah, thank you for the picture.
Yeah, you are.
We had a big meeting yesterday, and they just walked through the door when I realised I had to take the photograph. So never mind.
Dude, take the photograph.
It always happens. Yeah, so it's good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm in London at the moment at a branch meeting, and it hasn't started yet. It's going to start in a few moments. So we've got the branch chair here, Dinah Scudder, and she's the lady that sort of runs the show for us here in London. And we have in England, although we're only about the size of Florida, we have around 55 separate meetup groups across the country. And, they go pretty well, and our members get a lot from them. They're starting to get noisy, so I'm going to have to go away in a minute, I think, because you're not going to be hearing me. But we want to see meetup groups right the way across America. We've got them in Australia, we've got them in the Philippines, we've got them starting now in India, Hong Kong, Singapore, Malaysia. And the strange thing is we've also got a lot in Eastern Europe. So we've got Azerbaijan, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan. I'm off middle of October to our office in Belarus. So the whole world has got bookkeepers, and we all have the same challenges, all have the same needs, and thankfully we're all getting under the ICB banner, which is fantastic.
Awesome. Thank you, Gary.
My pleasure. So have a good meeting, and hope the rest of the day goes well. Thanks, Jan. Again, a brilliant way of doing this, and thank you very much for all your help. Can I just show you? This is June.
Hi, John.
Hi, June.
Hi, June.
June is the co-founder of ICB, but actually she's the boss. I do everything I'm told. So, she's the lady that did it. So, anyway, have a nice night, everybody. See you soon. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you both. Bye-bye. That's awesome. I am going to mute. Getting a little loud. Okay, there we go. Great. That was really awesome.
Yeah, it was. And thinking about what Gary is saying, and really makes me think about what we might be doing as bookkeepers in a Zoom meeting like this a few years from now. And I think what we're going to be doing as we have more technologies and more options is continuing to specialize, especially in specific technologies, and then sharing our work with each other more than we do now, because we'll have specific tasks such as syncing Avalara up with our customers' invoicing, for example, and somebody might be really specifically good at that, especially in a particular country where there's needs that we're maybe not aware of. So I think one of the things that us bookkeepers need to do is really continue to get connected globally, so that we can reach out to each other basically for gig projects and support each other, so that we don't all have to be experts in everything.
That's a good point, Shelly, because I think in the past people did not join groups because they were afraid of competition, like that they would be afraid that other people of their caliber would take their clients. And that is really not the case happening here. I love partnering with other bookkeepers that may want the clients that I don't want. You know, I'm trying to go with QuickBooks Online. I have friends that really don't particularly care for the online, that want to stay with the desktop. I'm happy to pass those clients that come to me to them. To me, it's important that the client gets served the best for their needs, not necessarily what I need them to do. Their needs are, as far as I'm concerned, the most important things. And you never know what's going to happen in the future. You serve that client better by recommending them to someone else that is better for them. They will remember that. They may then, in turn, recommend people back to you that's a better fit for you. So that's a win-win situation for everyone.
Can I just say, in the UK, I completely agree with your point of view, and it's something that we are developing because every practice has its different flavour. So I deal mainly with corporations. So if somebody comes and they're a sole trader, and I hope that translates to you guys in the US and Canada, that it may not be my forte. And I think there is so much work out there for us that we need to work together. And when we work together, we are going to gain so much clients. And somebody might come to us that we're not sure we can facilitate the work the best, but then we'll pass it on to somebody else. So that whole thing about, passing on and knowing who our client base is so important, because really there is, and I hope the same is true for you, a lot of work out there for bookkeepers.
Absolutely. I think that there will be more and more work for us going forward. Those of us that have been keeping up with technology and learning how to use things SAS-based will be more important, and more people will be looking for that type of work in the future too. We have,
guess who's the newest member of ICB?
Would that be you, Misha? Woo-hoo! Congratulations.
Welcome to the community.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the things we love doing in our little group, is celebrating everyone's victories. We would call this a victory for Misha.
Yep. Absolutely. That's awesome.
So does anybody want to share anything, anything on our minds at the moment? Everyone's muted and kind of quiet.
Okay, I'll share, because of course I'm in the evening in the UK. We're now at, getting on for 7 o'clock. And so I'm probably going to buy out in a minute, but it's actually been a privilege to talk to you guys and realise not only the bigger picture in the UK, but globally, where we sit as bookkeepers. And the thing I'm passionate about at the moment, and I'm very lucky actually because I work with Central ICB and do a lot of talks to them, is the value of the bookkeeper. And I don't know about where you are in the US and Canada, but I started bookkeeping in 1998, a long time ago. Really, I am younger than I look. But I believe that as a bookkeeper, we hold so much value to the people that we work with. And the concern I have is that we don't understand that. So the question I would throw out to you guys, I have to say I'll probably be here for another half an hour, and then teenage boys are going to come crashing in, is how can we as bookkeepers in ourselves recognize the value we hold, but more than that, communicate the value we hold. So I'm just going to stick that one out there for you guys, and I'm going to mute now. And you know.
Okay. Yeah, I want to say that that's an issue that that I've been struggling with myself. I hold myself in high value, but expressing that value to other people's. I think the U.S. people, the small business owners in general, don't even know the difference between a bookkeeper versus an enrolled agent versus a CPA versus a public accountant. And if we don't value ourselves, how can we communicate that to other people? And we do have a huge value that we can offer clients.
Well, there's also different levels of bookkeepers, because bookkeepers, the word bookkeeper seems to encompass everything from data entry all the way up to full charge pulling financial statements.
CEOs.
So, we have to know our own level of ability and what we are in order to have the confidence to portray that to our clients. So when I hear about, our software is going to get rid of your bookkeeper, no, our software will get rid of data entry, which, anybody who buys a box of QuickBooks can pull up a little check and go, wow, look how little easy this is, and fill out a check. That's not a bookkeeper in my mind. That's a data entry clerk, I guess. So because everybody gets dumped into this word bookkeeper, there's so many different images of a bookkeeper. If you've worked with a really good bookkeeper, experienced full charge, I mean, absolutely invaluable. And so that your image of a bookkeeper is they can do anything. So then, they go to hire a bookkeeper and somebody says, I'm a bookkeeper, and you hire them. And then they find out that your books have been demolished,
and you're spending thousands of dollars.
Questions about, there's a huge difference between knowing how to use a tool, a pencil or software versus knowing how to use this tool. And the biggest thing that I try to get across when I start training is, look, I can sit you down at a drafting table with a pencil, but that does not make you an architect.
Absolutely.
So if these programs are, or they self-post or whatever, if you don't understand the whole puzzle and a chart of accounts and the difference between a balance sheet and a P&L, and then even further, if you're going to put yourself out there for hire, you need to know the difference between a sole proprietorship versus an S corp, because there's always these subtle little differences. So how do we work on the public image of what a bookkeeper is when we're fighting advertising of, buy my program? Now you don't need her or him. So it's a very.
I'm trying to take a label and take it away from bookkeeping and calling myself an accounting tech as opposed to a bookkeeper.
Actually, Sarah,
why is that? What level of bookkeeper are you uncomfortable with in your own ability? Is it pulling the trial balance all the way to the end, or?
I'm doing more things with technology and apps than I am with keeping books. So with my, right, I'm installing different apps, not just QuickBooks, but we'll say Avalara, we'll say Bill.com. I mean, these are accounting type applications.
Is that more of a consulting role?
Is that more of a consulting role? Absolutely. And then take that a step further, I have to maintain these. And maintaining them is understanding the syncing between that app and your financial program. What happens when something, an application, as you call it, Sarah, burps, or just spits out some crazy whatever, you know, you have to then deconstruct it and put it back together.
Troubleshooting. Troubleshooting is a talent in and of itself.
Absolutely, absolutely. So these are not classical bookkeeping tasks that you're doing. You're doing above and beyond just keeping books. You are providing your client with financial information as much as you are keeping the books.
Mm-hmm. You know, the other thing I've realized over these years, if I look back to the 80s and 90s and you know, what we did before all this, you know, before we even got a PC was, you know, some manual full charge bookkeepers could pull these black books all the way through to a trial balance. But in most cases, you had an accounting firm who wrote up the books based on the information that came from a bookkeeper or a company. And the accounting firms controlled the general ledgers. So once we got into the era of PCs and how the software got less and less and less expensive, and then we had, you know, wives of doctors going, I can do this, you know, the whole control of the general ledger moved, you know, down to the companies who you know, didn't have to worry about thousands of dollars worth of software. That's when it all changed, when you had non-trained bookkeepers keeping their general ledgers. So our roles tended to change. We've come really far from that. I mean, that's still an issue, but organizations like, you know, Jan's gives, you know, bookkeepers a way to get trained to do things properly and things like that. But we're all dealing with bookkeeping at different levels and different angles and
different issues and things that bookkeepers didn't really think that they had to deal with, like insurance, for example. Liability, absolutely. You're going global. You really want to have that liability insurance. If a bookkeeper is starting out, that seems like an unnecessary expense at the moment, when in fact it is not.
Right. We just did a webinar yesterday on legal for global. So if you're going legal, do you need a lawyer? And what is it? Today, the webinar was on visas and hiring people in foreign countries to help you work on that company, right? Because, you know, these are the issues that maybe we just take it for granted. We know how to work in our, when your company or someone you're working for crosses the ponds, the rules entirely change. And maybe you're just buying product, but again, you have to look at the tax issues, as Paula's talked about with the VATs and things like that. You know, did you just incur liability? Do you need to file a tax return? Do you know, what do you have to do? And these are things that we've never had to deal with in the past. But I think it's also confidence. So getting our confidence up so that we have the education underneath us and telling people, I know about this. I know how to work on this product. I know how to work in your tax. I know how to work in your books. And being able to say that and not back down when somebody wants to lowball us because they think we're doing data entry. That's the hardest part.
Absolutely.
Sorry, I don't want to speak.
Go ahead.
In the UK, we have the same issue. I think that the bookkeeper has this image of the bean counter that may go into their clients or get client data once a week, once a month, whatever, and just process the data. And there is an issue of understanding, and I think I've said this before, the value that we have, that we don't just process the numbers, actually we know a lot more. But I think we also need to let our members in the US, in Canada, know that they have value. And the thing about value is really important, that we can advise and give more to our clients than just spinning the numbers.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think ICB is going to, I want to say they've just saved my life, because I have a client who happens to have an entity in Canada.
Yeah, and to encourage our members to know the role that they play. So, you know, in the UK, we're in a really important time because things are changing. And, you know, that whole thing of value, and we're more just doing the numbers, is something across the globe we can work on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Does anybody want to add to that?
The global part of it, bookkeeping globally, is becoming, I never thought I would experience it, but I picked up a US client who has and the same entity in Canada.
Well,
So now,
problem too.
So now I have to manage 2 sets of books or figure out a way to merge the two. But you can't, because Canada processes things differently. So now I have to manage that company's books in a different, in Canadian software versus the US software. So by knowing that there's ICB globally, I can find another member in the group that I can reach out to and say, okay, here's what I'm doing. Can you help me?
Absolutely.
And I'm like, I've been floundering for about a year and I didn't realize, because I mean, yes, I got QBO Canada. I have QuickBooks Desktop, because you can't have QB Desktop for Canada and the US on the same computer.
Mm-hmm. Oh, see, I didn't know that, Misha.
Yeah, you can't.
These are little issues that
the things you don't realize. So now I have that entity in QuickBooks Canada. So I am a pro advisor in Canada right now, as well as a pro advisor in the US.
Wow.
So I only have this one client. The only reason I had to get my certification, like I had to get the Pro Advisor Canada, was so I can manage her QuickBooks Online Canada file.
Wow, that's awesome.
So but now listening to this, I can reach out to somebody in Canada who's a member of ICB if I run into problems.
I'm impressed that you had forward-looking thoughts and challenged yourself and went and learned how to do this. And, you know, that's, I think, you know, if I look at my career, it was the challenges and the things that I didn't know how to do that really made me who I am today, because I had the personality where, well, I'm going to figure this out, you know. So, you know, none of us came into this knowing, you know, it's sometimes it's scary when I think about how much I didn't know when I went on my own.
That is true. You don't know what you don't know until you find out.
You like my saying, don't you, Gina?
I do.
You don't know what you. I'm going to get a T-shirt made with that saying. You don't know what you don't know until you know what you know. It's mind blowing.
No, that's absolutely spot on. You don't know what you don't know until you know. And the fact is, hopefully each of us know when we don't know that we'll go and check and ask. And I think that is, fantastic, because that's lifelong learning. And as far as I'm concerned, it's into lifelong learning. If you don't know it, because things change in the US and Canada, in the UK, Europe. I mean, come on, we just leave Europe. I have no idea what's going to happen. We're into lifelong learning. So, you know, asking the question is, I'm going to do a back chat for the ICB UK. And it's like, you know, I start this off going, well, this is how it stands, but, you know, I have absolutely no idea. where we are going. So lifelong learning, asking the questions is so important.
Ask, and don't hesitate.
And I want to say, I think I might be the only person who does not have a problem with change. Somebody tells me something is, oh, you know what? So we're gonna have a change. I'm like, okay, everybody around me is freaking out, and I'm like, okay, what do we got to do?
Exactly.
And change is here to stay. Change is a constant. Change.
Exactly. Which I don't understand why people fear change so much, and they're like, it's like they're going to explode when something changes or they get something different. I'm like, okay, so all I'm going to do is take what you're going to give me, and then I'm going to put my spin on it and do how I need to do, and it's going to change again. So why should I fear? Why should I fear?
I think actually bookkeepers are more comfortable with change than other people in industries. And the reason I say that is we have gone through the whole manual to software, now to more software. And every year, if you are like a tax person, you're dealing with new software every single year. So
yes, I guess that's why, because I do taxes, I'm not afraid of change.
Do you think it's also a generational thing? Like, I'm finding that the new younger clients, they're game for anything. They will dive in,
I think that's lack of experience, though. Sarah.
Probably. I think it's a combination.
A new gadget, a new toy, man.
That's right.
If it has anything to do with an iPhone or an Android or some sort of smartphone, and they can do it on the phone.
I know.
What? Oh, and boom, boom.
Absolutely. Not so much.
The boxes are going.
Not so much on the computer, though.
Not so much on the computer. If you have to sit at a computer, if they have to sit at a computer, they want to be able to carry it with them. Can they get it in their VR goggles? If they can get it in their VR goggles, they're good to go.
Oh, there's a whole nother world. I read something yesterday that was interesting, that web designers are starting, there's a movement now to start designing websites starting at the phone and then go out.
Oh, that makes me so sad.
Try to make it responsive going the other way.
That makes me sad because I don't think the phones have the number of things that you can do as a program. You have more menus, you have more options, you have more abilities to change. I think when you dumb down to phones that you get limited in those areas.
I agree. I agree. Convenience at a loss of what, Now, on the flip side, huge monitors and 4 or 5, I like everything big. But
Absolutely. But I do want to say that the bookkeepers, what they're learning now is way more valuable than the bookkeepers in the past. Speaking about what you said, well, I do, because what you had said in the past, you had an accounting firm, it took time to get the data in. You did not get that information until weeks after it already happened.
Right.
With the new technology today, you get that information instantaneously. We no longer have float to deal with where we did in the past. In the past, we were able to write a check. By the time it got to the vendor, by the time the vendor then put it in the bank and it cleared, there were several days that went by.
Oh, that thing called float?
Absolutely. And that's pretty much gone away these days.
Yeah.
So what you're looking at is real-time information that has more impact for a client's business than information that had happened 2 weeks ago.
But do you find that the we older crowd, we learned double-sided bookkeeping. We learned if you do this, this will happen. Whereas some of the younger ones, when they're coming in, they fill out a screen without a full comprehension of what is happening in the background. That
Absolutely.
lack of a full puzzle. Like I can interview bookkeepers and maybe they concentrated at their last company just AR. They know AR. They wouldn't know AP.
Right.
So, you know, it's a fun career path as well. I mean,
and you have to be open to learning and open to changes. Absolutely.
Puzzles.
Absolutely.
So I think we're super valuable.
Okay, I'm going to stop recording now at this point. We've recorded about an hour.